But that's his demeanour. And to be honest, there were moments in the opening set yesterday against Juan Monaco, which he lost 6-2, where you really wouldn't have given him a price to come back in the way he did. But all credit to him, he gutsed it out. And as the sun dropped, he was pretty definitive about the moment when it all changed. 3-all in the second set, and it was around that time that the sun went down and he started to play better and better. In the end, he won, what, 9 successive games to take the semi-final.
Yes, it was a terrific finish by Murray, and of course that's the memory that he'll be taking into this final, so that he should be a lot more buoyant really than he was yesterday. He was very, very flat at the beginning. I suppose he really hadn't been over here long, and Murray's always been even though his initials are AM, he's always been a PM man, hasn't he? He's never really liked playing before noon.
So it's all about the title here, and of course the race to the ATP World Championships. And Andy Murray some 355 points behind Burdick. If he wins here, he gets 250, which with my maths tells me he's, what, 105 points behind Burdick, who's in 8th place. Remember, the top 8 make it through. But he's if he wins, he leapfrogs Dimitrov into 10th, and he's just behind Raonic, who's 9th. And he'll be happy to see Mohamed Layani in charge, because if I'm right, Mohamed Layani was the umpire when he won his last title at Southwest 19 in July of last year. So maybe that's a good omen. Never short of a few words, Mohamed Layani. So Robredo wins the toss of the coin. He's decided to receive and put Murray into bat first.
Oh, Murray will certainly hope that he starts better than he started yesterday. He lost 3 service games in his opening set. He was flat as a pancake. No, he wasn't that good.
Starting just a little before he started yesterday. The sun started to come through at around 4:30, just before that, 3:05 local time. And it certainly made a difference when the sun went down. Because he really did look all over the place early on. Robredo, very different against Santiago Giraldo, winning that one 6-1, 6-4. 32 years of age, ranked 22 in the world, a high of 5 in August of 06. And in his second final of the year, he got to the final in Umag in Croatia, losing to Pablo Cuevas there. 4th round of the US Open, where he lost to Stan Wawrinka, and this is his first tournament since. 12 career titles, but surprisingly, through just one on hard courts in 2007 when he won Metz. And good omen for him then. He beat Andy Murray in the final.
Yes. Yes, I suppose it is in a way, because he actually grew up on a hard court, but up until the age of 14, that's just about all that Robredo played on. It was only when he turned 14, somewhere around there, between the age of 14 and 18, that he moved to Barcelona to switch to a clay court. But his preference is for clay, even though his formative years were spent on hard.
So his run through, longest match of the week in his quarterfinal against Andreas Seppi. He didn't drop his serve, but it was 2 hours and 36 minutes before he won 6-3 in the third. And Andy Murray, 28 titles, 22 of them on hard courts. And in his 43rd final, he's won 28, lost 14. But in his first final since Wimbledon, all sorts of reasons for that. The biggest, of course, was the back surgery which he had in the late summer last year, early autumn. And by his own admission, it's taken him a while to get full physical fitness. And I think he's been disappointed, not so much with his form. I think he's been pretty happy with his form, but his results just haven't been where he wanted them.
Yes, it's the consistency, really, that he's lacked. The form at times has been excellent, as we saw against Djokovic, for instance, at the US Open, but he didn't get the result. So there's just been a little bit of a fading in Murray, and he'll be hoping really to be able to keep up that good form for longer periods in matches and for match in and match out. But let's face it, what a marvelous career he's had.
So there's the head-to-head. Murray's won their last 3 meetings. But 3-2, their last meeting at Wimbledon in the 3rd round, and Murray won it pretty comprehensively. A tighter 3rd set, but no real worries.
Well, I suppose given that it was 2013 that he beat Robredo at Wimbledon, there must be a good memory stored in his memory bank. The year, of course, that he won the title, and this was one of the men he beat. Wimbledon, for Murray, of course, so important, grass to his liking. Not so much to Robredo's liking. Robredo's best appearance, their 4th round at Wimbledon, and that was this year where he lost to Federer. Never really taken to grass as well as his opponent.
So Murray making a real meal of beating Juan Monaco, who was pretty disappointing, to be honest. Not the man that he was, but he had to contend with those very difficult conditions and came through in the end. 2-6, 6-3, 6-love, winning the last 9 games in a row. Before that, Somdev Devaman and Lucas Latsko stood in his way.
Yes, one looks at that score and realizing the heat. There's another look at umpire Liani from Sweden, but North African origins originally, but multi-linguist. One would assume that Monaco had faded in the heat, but it wasn't a case of that. It was really Murray who finished just so strongly. I think at one stage, towards the end of the match, he won 21 of 24 points. And as Simon was saying, won the last 9 games against Monaco, who was looking strong physically and mentally, and yet Murray was able to really put him in his place.
Head-to-head, as we saw, 3-2 in Murray's favour. Interestingly, the only matches that have finished on hard court, Murray beat him once on a retirement, have both been won by Robredo, but they were in 2006 and 2007 when Robredo was right at the peak of his career. Not that he's fallen away too much, but he was right at the peak, and Murray was still developing.
Exactly, 5 years difference between them, so meeting in 2006, 2007, Robredo would have gone in as favourite. He is, at 32, one of the veterans of the tour. Murray's had his back injury. Robredo's had wrist problems last year, and then had severe leg injury. Had, in fact, surgery on his leg, so he's had his physical problems as well. But as we so often note, when players do have these physical problems, I'm not sure it applies to Murray particularly at this stage because he's been so consistent over the years. But for somebody like Robredo, it's almost given him a new lease of life. That is, assuming the leg's been fixed, which it undoubtedly has. He's come back almost refreshed, Robredo.
Big weekend for the Murray family. Brother Jamie, along with John Peers, is in the doubles final in the Malaysian Open in Kuala Lumpur, and they've taken the first set against Matkowski and Leander Paes. And of course, Mum has started Strictly Come Dancing. Started pretty well from all accounts. We wish her well.
Serve is going to be pretty important. I expect both players to use the slice serve quite consistently. We saw Robredo with 10 aces in his match yesterday. Murray himself served 10 aces. Use of the swinging serve, particularly on the right court. And as I so often say with Murray, I think he should use the slice serve on the second serve as well. Not that Robredo is a massive tackler of the second serve. He's not somebody who thumps a lot of winners. So Murray, with his usual serving, might well get away with the kick serve, which of course other people, particularly people with two-handed backhands, can take mean advantage of. Robredo with the classical one-handed backhand.
So 12 career titles for Robredo, but none this year. Final in Umag. And of course, when you're 32 years of age, you wonder if you're going to win another title. I think Murray's going to the chair having those thoughts, but he would love to get back to winning ways.
Yes, the problem with people like Murray is that they inevitably play the major tournaments, which obviously are more difficult to win. That is, apart from the 4 majors, playing the 1000 series, playing the Indian Wells or the Miami or the top clay court tournaments, which are that much more difficult to win. So it's actually harder for them to garner a title. If they went and played a lot more 250s, you know, there's no doubt he would have had titles since Wimbledon last year.
Good point. And he has been, again, very consistent in the slams. Quarter-final of the Australian Open, lost to Federer there. Roland Garros semi-final, lost to Rafa. Wimbledon beaten by an inspired performance from Dimitrov. And the US Open, well, he was doing really well for a long while against Djokovic before going out in 4 sets there.
Yes, and those are really the equivalent. Even if you get to the quarters of a major, it's almost the equivalent. Well, it's more than the equivalent of winning a 250, sometimes even a 500 event.
So hope you'll appreciate getting up early in the morning to watch this, and hope you enjoy it. Tommy Robredo, Spain, against Britain's Andy Murray. The final of the Shenzhen tournament in China. Huge city, there's 15 million inhabitants, would you believe? This is the first ever final here. Murray to begin it.
Ready? Yes.
Listen to the gasp. He's popular all over the world, but particularly in Asia, where he's bidding for his 7th title here. Won a couple in Shanghai, a couple in Doha, one in Tokyo, one in Bangkok. It's a rich hunting ground for him. But not when he serves like this.
Well, he had problems from the northern end, the other end yesterday with the sun, but none really to this degree.
Well, he made a shockingly slow start to the match yesterday. And it looks like this might be repeated. 3 break points, Robredo. One of the features yesterday for the first hour was Murray's forehand. He just couldn't time it at all. He was consistently putting him on the back foot. Normally that's the sort of rally that Murray thrives on, but in these conditions, you wonder. Is Robredo's tactic to wear him down? He'll have been very aware of the problems that Murray had in the heat yesterday. So a break for Robredo, and apart from one rally, he hardly had to do anything. So he didn't break sweat. That would be impossible in these conditions, but you know what I mean.
Yes, a very strange start by Murray, and you might have, well, you would have heard the crowd applauding. Of course, what they were doing was not actually applauding the double fault. What they were trying to do was encourage Murray. With the double faults, they were suggesting, come on, come on. Because he has a massive appeal here.
Robredo discuss.
He lost his serve once yesterday, did Robredo, in the second set, unbroken in the first.
Looks like he's starting this match in the same frame of mind as yesterday's. Certainly not a lot of purpose behind Murray in that rally, but he's quite happy just rallying from the back.
15.
Yes, the purpose really seemed to be just to keep the ball in play. A 17-stroke rally, not looking to get anywhere near the net. So prepared to take the long route.
Loft on the club.
40-15.
Yes, muttering away. It's just too early in the match at the moment for Murray. Otherwise, he would have had much better length on this lob.
A bit of enterprise there and some delighted faces.
40-13.
Well, you can hear so many pundits saying that's where they'd like to see more of Murray up at the net, particularly in these conditions.
Oh, yes. The best shot of the match ends game number 2, which goes the same way as game number 1.
Robredo leads 2-0.
Taking advantage of the shade at the back of the court, and you can see perhaps with that last shot why Murray concentrates so much more on the Robredo backhand.
15 love.
Well, it was from this end yesterday that Murray was cursing the sun.
Well, he made a nice target there for Robredo.
15 all.
And of course Murray's reply to those who say, well, you should be at the net a lot more in these conditions against Robredo, Murray's answer might be, well, that's one of the reasons I don't go in that much against him.
That'll be a pleasing shot.
13, 15.
Piece of timing on the forehand. Yes, Robredo frustrated. Saw the chance there, which could have set up another break point. Glance back at his team, and Murray is on his way. But Robredo has got off to a kick start here, and the Spaniard leads by a break and 2-1.
This is Mark, across town for a conference, over to the clients for a presentation. Meetings on top of meetings on top of meetings. That's why Mark stops at Esso for supreme fuel that helps him get better engine performance and Tesco Club Car points with every fill-up. So he can make it to the meeting that matters most. This is Mark, and Mark is energy. Esso. Energy lives here.
Messi can surge forward now. Challenged by Aguero, he's brushed him off. And beat another challenge. Out to Neymar. Messi! You just can't write scripts like this.
EA Sports, it's in the game.
Out now for Xbox.
So that's where Robredo has been hitting through the tournament, but it's more relevant the way he hits to a particular opponent, really. Robredo with a break. Yeah, Murray does seem very content to stay at the back most of the time and wait for Robredo to make mistakes, wear him down.
Yes, I think whether it's just a case of feeling that if he does come in, he might get past, whether this is the way he's always tackled Robredo in his winning matches. Robredo, of course, loves the into-out forehand, which is directed, therefore, to the Murray backhand.
And yesterday he spent a
15 all.
good while feeling himself into the match, didn't he? It was only really when he got that feeling after a set and a half that he really did see the array of shots that he's got.
Murray.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, he took his cap off too, didn't he? Because the shade by then was round the court and played so much better after that.
Bad errors from Robredo. More fuel for Scott.
Yes, does Robredo cut out the big forehand down the line, because he's missed two rather badly. Well, that's the play we saw a lot of yesterday from Robredo. He garnered quite a few of his aces to that wing. Of course, it really opens up the court. Murray's got to look out for the wrong footer here. You can see he just checks his advance to the backhand side because he feared the wrong footer.
It was challenging. It did look as if it bounced wide. Yeah, not the best challenge he's ever made.
Okay, Robredo. Robredo leads 3-1. Mr. Murray has 2 challenges remaining.
His second serve was very vulnerable yesterday, and it started the same way. Sarcastic gesture.
It's interesting that this should be the problem side for him. The 3 doubles have come from this end.
He's had a fair tap, 203 Ks.
$30, 15.
The contrast there at the end of that game from the way he's been serving so far in the match. Is that the lift he needs? 3-2.
What's going on? Ah, it looks like Dad's tablet can only do one thing at a time. With the Galaxy Tab S, the whole family has something to smile about. Do you see what I see? Samsung Galaxy Tab S.
Renault Sport celebrates this year the World Series by Renault's 10th season and invites you to participate on an amazing virtual betting contest during the Formula Renault 3.5 Series season to win fantastic prizes. To participate, visit now wsr.eurosport.com.
Robredo with his head under the towel. Murray absolutely adamant that he wanted the umbrella, which is shielding from the sun, in exactly the right place. Very, very conscious of the damage it can do, and he's praying that the shadows start moving across the court pretty quickly. It will be, though, another 45 minutes before they make a real impact. The shadows.
Seldom seen Robredo in a cap.
As he uses the shades a lot. It's the glare as much as anything else here. So still that opening game break divides them.
Oh, terrific return of the slice serve there, where Robredo had a lot of success against Giraldo, the Colombian. Yesterday, Murray, of course, so difficult to ace.
A few mistakes coming from Robredo. More on the backhand at the moment than the forehand, but they're there.
Oh, for some reason going for a much flatter shot. Usually there's quite a higher trajectory on his forehand.
Yeah, really good depth from Murray there.
The ball sliding off the line, little problem for Robredo, but Murray was quick to seize the opportunity, seeing the depth, seeing the problem here, getting in quickly.
So 2 breakback points. The double faults catching. Robredo's first, and there's the break back for Murray. But rather, as in his opening service game, he didn't have to do an awful lot there, Murray, to break back.
Well, I suggest the first point actually was important because Robredo used the wide serve, Murray got it back, won the point, and after that Robredo was trying the big serve down the middle and then of course hesitated before the last second serve, hence the double.
Backhand is a bit of a mystery, isn't it? Wasn't really firing yesterday, and it's the same again here. Just hasn't got the timing. Perfect timing from Murray there.
13 down.
Well, Robredo resorting to the slice backhand here, but really getting it very wrong. Whether he wasn't anticipating Murray coming in, but in any case, it wasn't much of a shot. Little frustration now from Robredo.
Decent second serve from Murray. He's starting to turn it on now. Countable service game for Murray, and he hits the front for the first time in this match. 4-3.
A unique destination, an unforgettable experience. Elected as one of the top 10 world trips for this summer. Azores, feel alive.
Messi can surge forward now. Challenged by Aguero, he's brushed him off. And beat another challenge. Out to Neymar. Can't write scripts like this.
EA Sports, it's in the game.
Out now for Xbox.
Players taking advantage of every second they can to keep in the shade. A lot of liquid being consumed. Murray, of course, got caught with what seemed like a hydration problem or a dehydration problem in New York. Still not absolutely sure how that happened. It was something specific that he ingested. And he had to ride the storm yesterday. He was really looking all over the place for a while, but regrouped. A sluggish start here, but it looks like he's got his act together.
Yes, it was a 3-all in the second after a set down against Monaco. Break point down, Murray, that he really then started firing. Well, he's reverted to the serve to the forehand. The forehand down the line, not operating for Robredo.
A worrying amount of times at the moment, Robredo.
Yes, one could put the first miss down to the new balls. Of course, they fly that much more, and they are pretty quick here. That's how quick they are.
15-30.
He got his footwork all wrong there, Ed Murray.
Apologies for the lip readers amongst you.
Well, he got his lip work wrong too, did he?
Just a bit. Wow, it really went for that second serve. And Murray given a real chance here to virtually seal this set. Again, the trouble with the footwork from Murray. He was tripped over his own feet, and Robredo survives that scare.
Yes, at least good movement by Murray to get to this. So it forces Robredo, and you just never know to play yet another shot.
$208K, is that? Big time stuff. Second ace for the Spaniard.
It's got to be that good for Murray not to get a touch on it. The problem with his second serves is when he's not used the kick second serve that has led to the double fault.
Best rally of the match, and no problem with the backhand there from Tommy Robredo. Beautifully delivered shot.
Well, both of them coming into their own simultaneously here. This is much more the sort of point I think that I expected. So it could be a trickier game this for Murray should he not serve well.
Robredo laughing at that second serve.
Yes, really able to take it on the rise and inject that sort of speed into it.
Not quite. There, he nearly brought it back. But Robredo got enough width on that backhand.
Yes, I wasn't quite sure whether Robredo just fancied that he'd won the point or whether he it came back so unexpectedly that he wasn't anywhere near it. And Murray's backhand, had it been in, of course, was a complete winner.
How important the first serve is. Now, where will he serve here in this second serve? Well, the serve was good enough, but the second shot wasn't. Yes, his leg work wasn't up to the normal standard there, and here's break point.
So it's one of those odd even games where on the odd point he's missed the first serve and struggled and lost the point. And then when he is down, he's got the first serve in to really help matters.
Robredo guessed which way he was going, but it was just too good.
And that's broken the sequence. These have been the more difficult points for Murray to win to the right court in this game.
Direct hit on the line judge. And a super hit there. And his serving gets him out of trouble. His third ace. And Robredo will have to serve now to stay in this opening set.
We started Zaya with the thought that the kid on the back of the bus might have a song that he has in his head, but he just can't get out. With the technology of cloud, we change all that. I can sing something into my device, up to the cloud it goes, back down it comes, sounding better. We break down the walls of creation, and we give music creation for the masses.
Well, we saw at the end of that last game particularly how important the first serve is for Murray. Getting 66% of the points of the serves in and winning 75% of the service points when it does go in, only 40 when it doesn't. So the onus now on Robredo, 4-5. Yeah, terrific return from Murray. Robredo couldn't get his feet out of the way.
Yes, it's a shot that Robredo must marvel at, because if it gets up that high for him on the return, he's not able to do what Murray's able to do with his two hands.
Smiles all round, Murray reaching the peak again.
I thought Robredo would have come in just about on the third shot of his in the match, in the point. Eventually has to come in, and of course just a shot of sheer brilliance by Murray. Could see Robredo storming in.
K's out wide. Robredo too struggling when the first serve doesn't go in. He's only winning 27% of the points. Really excellent serving from Robredo. There's a time when I think Murray fancied a break here.
Yes, he showed so much more aggression towards the end of the last game, Murray. I think it was going to be a difficult game for Robredo, were he not to serve well.
Well, that's as impressive as he's been. It's not been a particularly good start for Robredo. Murray, in many ways, has been a little fortunate to be where he is. But the signs there were that the Spaniard is beginning to take a leaf out of Murray's book and find some form.
Something in the crowd upsetting Murray.
Oh, terrific. It was a good fetch from Murray, but Robredo wasn't about to applaud him.
Yes, Robredo realizing that with Murray diving to his left here to play this, he was bound to play a short ball, almost a stop volley, and Robredo onto it quickly.
Well, It floated precariously close to the line, but Murray was undone there. Real lack of concentration. And now a big chance for Robredo. What was that?
Yes, I think a real miscalculation. Obviously thought it was going out. I think the crowd did too.
So 3 points for a double for his second break. How about that? Well, this is the best tennis of the match, right here. Most of it provided by Robredo. Not in that particular instance, though.
No, it's amazing how Murray can lift his game in these precarious situations. See if we can keep it up.
Yep, the serve looking vulnerable. Robredo saying thanks a bunch, and Robredo once more goes a break up, and will serve for this opening set when you return.
OK, which is the real raccoon and which are the Walker's Ranch Raccoon flavour crisps? This is definitely the raccoon.
Try all 6 Do Us a Flavour finalists and vote for your favourite.
Well, it's a match that's gone in fits and starts, hasn't it, from both players. Neither of them has been consistent through the first set, so even now I wouldn't write Murray out of this opening set.
No, brilliant effort by Robredo at the end there, taking advantage of the Murray second serve. Of course, it's well known that the Murray second serve is one of his weak points. And even though he looked to slice it, he didn't get in a particularly good slice. Robredo using his feet well, really hammering it.
So Murray's broken once, why not again?
A little untypical, not the muttering, but the missed backhand, and going for the backhand as early as that. We haven't seen many backhands down the line from him yet.
Oh, what a super shot from Tommy Robredo. Inch perfect.
Yeah, Yes, and I was thinking even with the backhand, it was such a mature shot from, of course, a very experienced player, and then to hammer that home.
Really good serving when he needs it here from the Spaniard. 3 set points.
Obviously felt that at 40 love he could just risk one big shot.
Really good serving from Robredo. Murray in patches played really well, but for the most part quite some way short of where he wanted to be. Robredo takes advantage and he wins the first set in 50 minutes, 7 games to 5.
What's going on? Ah, it looks like Dad's tablet can only do one thing at a time. With the Galaxy Tab S, the whole family has something to smile about. Do you see what I see? Samsung Galaxy Tab S.
There's a tap that makes your coffee. A tap that makes your tea. And even prepares your tomatoes. The new Cooker Fusion gives you instant boiling, warm, and cold water, and is easily installed in your kitchen. So out with the tap, in with the cooker. For free installation, call 0845 833 333 or visit cooker.co.uk.
Come on, boy. Fetch. Go on, boy. Fetch.
All right, I'll do it then.
Lady Brassick's the brains behind the operation. I trawled through all those comparison for car insurance, but came up trumps by going direct to Aviva. We call her Lady Geek now, don't we, Hickson? You're not blessed with a sense of humour, are you, darling?
No.
5-star car insurance from just £191 direct from Aviva. Little things matter.
Robredo under his towel. He looked like King Tommy for a while. He had the ice pack right on the top of his head, cooling him down. Murray's left the court. And for the second time this weekend, he's going to have to come from a set down against a player who's starting to feel really good. There was a lot that was impressive about Robredo at the end of that set for him.
There was. I thought it was very professional the way he approached those last few games. In fact, in terms of points, I think he won something like 12 of the last 16 points, which is how well he finished it. And I referred to the mature backhand. He was pushed out wide. He just got the backhand in deep. He wasn't trying to hit it too hard from a poor position. Just got it back deep. Murray was unable to really take advantage, therefore, of an earlier, better shot. And with a short reply from Murray, he suddenly waded in with that big shot down the line. So very, very fine finish by Robredo. If he can start off well here, this heat might just get to Murray a little bit.
The shadows are beginning to move across the court, but it's still going to be half an hour, really, before he gets real solace. And the sun is out now more than it was at the start of the match, so he's got to work it out himself. Remember, it was midway through the second set that he really got started against Juan Monaco. It's a dangerous ploy. Not that it was a deliberate ploy to go a set down, but you know what I mean. He did start slow. And he's paid the price.
Yes, Robredo's got in his game just that little bit more oomph. than Monaco had, really, to press home his advantage. It was the set up and 3-all and break point. It was then that Murray really raced ahead.
Murray, of course, broken in the opening game of the first set.
Seems a little tight-fitting, this shirt. It'll cling to you with the humidity.
Especially with the muscles that he's got. Yeah, looked like a decent stop there from Robredo. Did seem to drift long. Oof. 205 Ks. A rocket from Murray, ace number 4.
13-15.
You see Robredo's positioning himself to take advantage again of that second serve. Well, some players would then look to take a lot off the first serve just to get it in. But it denies Murray his ability to ace if that's the case.
Better second serve, that from Murray. So a couple of second serve points won by Murray. Are you surprised generally, Fru, that the problem remains with the second serve? I mean, it's universally thought that it does. It's the one weakness in his game. Are you surprised that it's still there, that they haven't been able to sort something?
I am, because my method, it's not necessarily therefore the correct one, has been that for him to use the slice serve a lot more, you know, particularly into the body, to use it even more on the first serve. It takes a little bit of pace off the first serve, but he would have a greater consistency. He'd still be able to ace, because it would only reduce the power by 3 or 4 miles an hour. But it would help him with his second serve if he got into a greater rhythm using the slice on the first. It's not massive slice, it's just part slice. Then he would develop, I think, a far better second serve. He's always going to have the kick serve should he need it. Should players be vulnerable against it, for instance, it's a good serve to have against Robredo. If you can kick the serve up high on his backhand side, he's not going to hurt you. Nor is Federer.
saw from the graphic that Robredo primarily has gone wide from both sides of the court. First serve, trying to change it up there. Yeah, huge piece of luck for Murray. Robredo did awfully well to get it back. Not to any great effect, though.
Yes, he realizes the importance of these first points. It just gives Murray that little bit of a head start, so he can be that much more dangerous on this point.
Incidentally, Andy's brother Jamie has lost in the doubles final with John Peers of Australia. They've lost to Marcin Matkowski of Poland and Leander Pace, the number 4 seeds. That's in Kuala Lumpur. Went to a champions tiebreak third set and they lost it 10-5. Normally the drop shots are better than that, but it does at least bring a smile.
Yes, I suppose that indicates just by how much he missed it, because I think it was the right shot. Robredo was a long way back. He would have been expecting another hard hit shot.
Good serving again out wide. However many times he does it, he's still getting that vein.
Yes, it won him a lot of points yesterday, and I think even though Murray's got quite a number of those serves back, I think his pluses outweigh his minuses for Robredo on serving wide.
It's close. Yeah, well, Murray's body language would make you feel that that might well have been in. I don't think Murray would be a particularly good poker player.
No. But a bad luck for Robredo. Of course, Murray gets a first serve.
It reared up that second serve, didn't it?
Yes, this is a high bouncing court. Balls are quick. You can see the problem that Robredo has here. He has to jump even higher, really, to have complete control of it.
Apologies for the break-up in picture, but Murray taking that game and leads 2-1. Better serving. And it really does look vitally important in this match.
Yes, he looks, at this stage of the match, he looks in better shape, really, than he was yesterday. Of course, being a final and with so much more at stake, one can understand it, perhaps. Robredo trying to take advantage of those second serves, just not quite able to do it.
Yes, with one eye on the title here and one eye on London, of course. He's picked up 150 points for getting to the final. So he's narrowing the gap on Burdick, who was, what, 355 points in front of him. But he'll pick up another 100 points, taking it up to 250 if he wins this match. There's no really clear pattern in the matches. It's very difficult to predict from here on in if Murray's going to turn it around. Somehow, I think, deep down, I think you believe, and I know where you're coming from, that Murray is going to turn it around, but it's fits and starts.
Yes, he so often does in these situations, even though, of course, he's not been in the form that he was when he won his majors, but the form was good enough at the US Open quarterfinal. Robredo, fourth round loss to Wawrinka. He had a pretty good US too. Of course, the man who really shone was Marin Cilic, whose birthday it is today.
What an uplifting story that was, Cilic winning in New York. Conducted the draw for the Beijing tournament. That's where Murray's off to after this. Still inconsistent.
Yes, seemingly for no rhyme nor reason. He's missing backhands.
Apologies, we keep losing the feed, and it's a problem from on-site, but Robredo holding on to his serve there and taking it to 2-all. It's a recurring problem. We're not sure if it's to do with the extreme weather we've got here or if there are other associated issues, but that's the scoreline. The feed coming and going is a bit like Murray's form.
First love service game of the match for either player there for Robredo. Always been true to his Dunlop sponsors over the years.
So new ammunition here for Andy Murray. Oh, he's got it. Quite sure where that came from.
Interesting that after the winning forehand return, Murray should continue to go to the forehand. It's almost as if he was challenged to do so and thought to himself, I'll take him on. It almost backfired on him.
As you mentioned, Murray coping with conditions seemingly so much better today. His form's not as good as it finished up yesterday, but he seems to be coping with the heat and more particularly the humidity much better. Maybe just getting that a little bit more used to it.
Okay.
208 Ks. Ace number 6 for Murray, who leads 3-2 in the second set.
What's going on? Ah, it looks like Dad's tablet can only do one thing at a time. With the Galaxy Tab S, the whole family has something to smile about. Do you see what I see? Samsung Galaxy Tab S.
Drivers want to go further with their electrical vehicles, but you can't take a trip from Lisbon to Stockholm if you can't recharge along the way. The Green Emotion project, funded by the European Commission, is using the IBM cloud to make this possible by creating a single charging and billing network across 28 countries. So drivers can travel as far as they want to go.
They're playing It's a Wonderful Life. I'm not sure that Robredo and Murray are sharing the sentiment right now. It's brutal, the conditions. And again, our apologies for the feed which comes and goes. But Murray's serving stats looking a lot more healthy. No breaks so far in set number 2.
Yes, in fact, serves have been won very decisively in this set. No deuce games. Without his cap, this is when he started turning things around yesterday.
As you can see, the shadow's not yet halfway across the court, but there is some shade to be had. Yes, it's Robredo with the daring, going for the angle.
Well, again, choosing his own way of winning the point. It's the longer route, but it's, of course, taking a little bit out of Murray in the process. Could well have gone in when he forced Murray wide and forced Murray to play the slice backhand.
Again, the big serve out wide. Ace number 4.
Must have been very close.
So double for Robredo.
The Arnaud Clément on him, isn't there, with the glasses?
Gave that a tap. So what, from 40 love, up to deuce.
Yes, Robredo trying to meet force with force of his own here, and in the end, I think coming unstuck needed to be a bit more defensive.
Second double in the game. Here's breakpoint Murray. Just missed it. Murray again quite happy to just keep the ball coming back. And at the same stage as he did yesterday, he's made his move. And he's 4-2 to the good.
Well, it was really a case in the main, wasn't it, of Robredo self-harming. Those double faults, one at 40-15, so important. A little shake of the head, he really should be shaking it vigorously.
The rallies are getting longer.
Yes, I think that's just about the longest of the match.
Really good second serve.
Yes, he was caught there, really. He was in difficulty, even had the ball gone over, because there was so much open court for Murray.
Yeah, an untimely sneeze.
Robredo, if he stood much further in, he'd be half volleying. Really trying to scare Murray with these returns of the second serve.
Well, more positive play from Murray, but he won't have enjoyed that final shot.
Yes, you could hear from the screeching of the shoes on the court that he was moving the legs well, getting the feet into position, which he certainly had. But he's not got into position of the first serves, though.
Yes, Robredo hanging his head because he was onto that serve. So a chance for Murray to go 5-2 up. Well, the standard of tennis did rise, didn't it, up to about a quarter of an hour ago, but it's slumping again now.
Yes, because even if that had gone in, it was a shot just down the middle of the court, which is unusual. Murray's usually trying a bit more than that.
Again, he's latched onto that serve, and it gives him a break-back point. Murray better get this first serve in now. Pressure on.
Strange decision to go to the forehand.
Robredo lapping up that second serve, and Murray back where he was. The advance is halted, and it's 4-3. Well, the old problem came back to haunt him. Second serves. Too many second serves and not good enough.
Yes, I was particularly surprised with Robredo having played such a good forehand return from the right court. Because if he gets the ball up high on Robredo backhand, as I pointed out, Robredo's not going to hit winners off the backhand. We could see him running into problems in the first point, Robredo, trying to play a forehand from the backhand court, and the ball caught him. So for Murray then to go to the forehand with his second serve seems strange.
So 2 successive breaks. Five doubles now for Robredo. Oh, well played.
Yes, probably of all shots in the game that a crowd like this would admire, it's the smash of Robredo's from his deep. Not a bad defensive lob by Murray.
Driving himself back into this set.
Well, people always extol the virtues of his backhand, but of course it's his forehand really that does most of the damage for the Spaniard. Just that his backhand's a single-hander, the comparative rarity.
And really good serve setting up the point. Robredo starting to play some of his best tennis now. It's going to be tough from here on in for Murray. That's how tough it could be. Robredo really starting to put a super sequence of points together, and it's 4 games each.
Yes, not making the mistake as he had in his previous service game of losing it when up. Of course, he was 40 love and then broken 40-15 this time, but the forehand looking particularly dangerous. Well, he's surely got to concentrate a bit more on the backhand of the Spaniard.
Cope with the heat so much better today. But his form at this stage in the match is nowhere near as good as it was against Monaco. Different opponent, and an opponent now who's starting to fly.
Just see the extra determination on Murray's part there. Serve to the backhand did the job, unhurt by the return.
Fine serve.
30-15.
Yes, there's no harm in using the big serve to the forehand on the first serve. If he hits it well enough, it'd be unusual for him to be hurt.
Looking up for some support as well as a challenge, but it's too late and in the negative.
Seldom use the same ball like most players, even after the net cord.
Much better serving from Murray. So he holds, and now Robredo will have to serve to stay in this second set. So Robredo exactly where he was in the opening set, but at this stage he reeled off 3 successive games to take the set. Can he do that here and take the match? Again, staccato serving from Murray. It was really good at the end there.
Very good. Good use of the second serve, and of course particular good use of the first. Robredo's got to cut out the doubles, one in each of the last 2 service games.
Glorious winner from Robredo. It does look so impressive, the single-handed backhand, doesn't it?
Yes, whether it's Gasquet or Wawrinka or Robredo, it has to be admired. 15th shot of the point.
Yes, Robredo better beware. There's a sureness about Murray now, which we haven't seen before in the whole match. Suddenly, it's like a switch has been flicked.
Yes, he did so well with that low backhand, and not to mention the high backhand as well. But it seems to me he senses if he can come in on Robredo at times when he's got Robredo on the stretch, Robredo's going to play the slice, and he can volley.
right on his game all of a sudden. Again, it's taken a while. What, an hour and 35 minutes? Suddenly, he looks a different player. This is world class.
Yes, terrific motoring. He had to cover so much court, got from one side to the other in a flash.
There's no hiding place from Robredo now. He can't deal with this kind of form. Murray playing like this is going to win. 2 set points. This is glorious to watch them go to each other toe to toe like this.
30-40.
Bring the best out of each other. Still set point.
Well, he's not used that serve very often, and what a time to use it. Speedy kick serve.
He's made it.
Unbelievable.
Phenomenal point.
Big challenge.
Well, he invested so much in it, you can understand why he's challenging, but I don't think he's going to get anything. It's amazing, isn't it, that the court's now in shade almost totally. It's almost like these players have been released, and suddenly we're seeing the match that we'd hoped for at the start. 2 different players. And he did so well then, Robredo. It really did look like a break was on the cards, but he raised his game at the crucial moment.
Yes, I think that's it as well. Not only the shade, just the very fact that the match is, for Robredo, could be reaching its climax. And it was Murray hoping to extend it, but that penultimate point, really one of the very best of the match, with Robredo making that remarkable shot, could so easily have turned the ball just wide instead of getting the line.
Well, that was out of context.
Left service.
Well played, Robredo. He read the net cord perfectly.
15-30.
Doesn't show much emotion, does he? Head down stuff there. Just trying to use the pace of the Murray serve to block it back in to begin the point as far as he is concerned.
Yes, clever switch up. The first serve was 215 Ks, and then he alters it. A little move out wide at 177. Dramatic improvement in the match from both guys, and you kind of want it to go on and on, particularly, of course, if you're a Brit. 6-5.
What's going on? Ah, it looks like Dad's tablet can only do one thing at a time. With the Galaxy Tab S, the whole family has something to smile about. Do you see what I see? Samsung Galaxy Tab S.
Timeless.
So the second time, Robredo will have to serve to stay in this set. Not quite the spelling that he'd have liked.
I guess it's a Scottish word I don't recognize.
But we get the gist.
Would have been a feature of Robredo's play, going so much more for the second serves than he has done for most of his career.
Well done. Murray covering the backhand.
Oh, isn't it good to see somebody taking that on, a smash from as deep as that? Remember how well Agassi used to play it.
So we're a point away from a breaker to decide the set or maybe the match. Yep. No wonder he took it on. Well, they haven't played a breaker against each other before. Murray's not gone to a breaker this week. Robredo has once against Seppi in the second set and lost it.
Oh.
Yes, it was close, but
looked pretty iffy, didn't it?
It did. Very tentative.
I was thinking double, but I wasn't expecting them from Murray.
It's his fourth. Maybe Robredo's aggressive stance on return on those second serves paid dividends there. Yeah. I think he's right to challenge. And if it's out, it's a very disappointing start to this breaker from Murray.
Well, he's looking for depth on that backhand, not only to get the ball to bounce up high, but also so that Robredo can't run around the backhand. Unusual first backhand by Robredo. He had the opportunity to really drill the ball.
It's odd, isn't it? We always say that breakers have almost a law of their own, and we've had such high standard in the latter part of this set, and suddenly the early points of the breaker have been pretty dismal. Tension taking hold.
Yeah.
So it continues.
I don't think we've seen an outstanding backhand down the line from Murray yet. He hasn't played many at all.
If anything, he was a fraction slow reacting. Once he'd reacted, he moved very quickly. I don't think he realised how much air there was under that lofted shot from Murray.
Yes, it's an unusual volley from Murray. Whether he thought he just had the point one with Robredo so far out on his backhand side. Maybe he was just teasing the Spaniard.
Oh, he deserved it, didn't he? Good effort from Murray. But super from Robredo, and that was a tricky, very high overhead to win the point.
Brilliant. Absolutely stunning end of point by Robredo, realizing he had to get to it, and it wasn't that easy to get to it, as you say. But whoever operated on his leg, he had leg surgery, has done an almightily good job. He had to cover some ground. Got the feeling Murray's just got to go for his shots a little bit more, because Robredo certainly seems to have the courage of doing so.
And again, Robredo, adventurous. Serve didn't have help, though.
5-2, Robredo.
Well, the older he gets, the better he gets, Robredo. 32 years old. Beaten Federer for the first time in the last 2 years. Beaten Djokovic recently.
Inexplicable error, really, from Murray. He's challenging, but it's only because he's got one. 4 match points for Tommy Robredo. There's one back.
6-3.
This could be pretty intense from now on.
Really good use of the forehand from Murray. Hanging in there. 2 match points saved. 2 more to go.
6-4.
You know what Robredo's thoughts are? Can I do it with the serve alone?
Well played, Andy Murray. Hanging by a slender thread. 3 match points saved. Hits the 4th on his serve.
Well, is Robredo going to go for the huge attempt to score a winner on the second serve?
6-5. Net for first race.
Well, he had to stop himself from hitting the net, and he managed it. 4 match points have been saved. It's a great effort from Murray.
Fantastic. Come with the hour, come with the wild card. Given the wild card in here, yes, may not have been the top seed, but in many people's minds, of course, he's the top mind, the top man. And you can understand the crowd's reaction here. David Ferrer was the top seed.
Feels like he's won the set, but he hasn't yet. He's still 2 points from losing the match. Boy, oh boy. After all that, the shot that belonged to the first set. Match point number 5.
Well, that unforced error must seem like the relief of Mafeking for Robredo.
Suddenly he's winning point after point on the forehand. And he's going for it.
That's a look of a man with a killer instinct in him.
It looked easy, but he still had to balance himself for that final moment. Now it's the point he's been waiting for. It's set point Murray. Quickest serve so far, 216. It's a magnificent breaker now. It started very tepid, but now it's as hot as the weather.
Well, for a few points, Murray's forehand was the dominating shot here. It was stronger, heavier than Robredo's. And Robredo accepting the challenge in this point. 18th shot of the point, and he smothers it with power.
Just 158 Ks out wide. For the first time, he's looking exhausted. But he's got set point again for the second time. I can't believe that he mistimed it to that effect and to that extent.
Yes, just a couple of unexpected errors by Murray. He's raised the level of his game. He's become far more intense. His concentration is so much higher and better than it was. And yet the forehand missed, and then suddenly that missed as well. Out of context.
Well, his legion of supporters here couldn't be giving him more. Robredo must wonder what he's done to deserve this. Just nailed that forehand.
This little mishit by Robredo on the backhand just gives Murray the opportunity to really get fully behind it.
There was no hesitation at all. Third set point. That's a huge effort from Andy Murray. And after 3 minutes over 2 hours, he's taken us into a third set here. And that was He-Man stuff from the Scud.
Are you making the most of your tablet?
I'd really like to know how to get the latest books onto it.
My biggest question is how secure are my documents?
What we're looking to do now is some photo editing.
I'd like to know how to work on PC documents.
I'd love to be able to use the tablet to video call my sister.
We want to set up email.
If you want to know which tablet is right for you and how to get the best from it, call Which on 0800 223 0506 for our free Make the Most of Your Tablet guide. We'll help you find your perfect tablet, show you how to set up email and video calling, how to download movies and watch catch-up TV. There's tips on photo editing, security, and of course our jargon buster. It's like having a Which expert in your pocket.
Now I've got all the books I wanted, thanks to the step-by-step instructions in this guide.
Now we're able to send photos of William to all the family. I got a lot of security tips from this. It's made me feel a lot more confident.
We've set up email.
And we're very happy.
Make the most of your tablet. Call now for your free Which guide.
And it's free, that's great. It just makes it even better, doesn't it?
I've grazed saloon bars, wine bars, even spent time behind bars. I've known the lips of factory girls, pin-up girls, even a Miss World. But there is so much more to see. I am San Miguel. I am una vida bien vivida.
Hi, Mum.
Alex.
With the fastest way from A to Flybe.
Well, how exciting was that? And it's amazing, isn't it? As soon as the shade came, it was like a different match, a different sport almost.
Yes, it could just be coincidence, but of course there's also the fact that I think Murray's got so much pride really in his own performance that when what you're suggesting is that, and what we have to refer back to, and folk may not be aware of the fact that he was set down at 3-all yesterday against Monaco. He was a break point down, and then suddenly things turned around for him. And so it's done here. But my thinking is how lucky Shenzhen is. This is their first tournament of such repute. They've had a challenger here earlier this year. The first tournament, major ATP tournament they've had. And to have Murray showing the dedication and the determination, he could so easily have said, look, you know, I'm sure he's had a handy bit of appearance money given to him here. He could well have said, well, I've done so well, I've got to the final, I put up a good show, the second set's going Robredo's way, I'm not going to give it my utmost, and yet he has. I mean, he's saved all those break points. He's fought really through all kinds of disasters here. The missed forehand, the missed backhand. They could so easily have just given it to Robredo, instead of which he's fought as hard as he has and won that second set, and now is the favorite going into the third. They are so lucky to have him here in showing that determination.
Yes, because to put things in perspective, the winner here takes $106,000 US. Now, conservatively, he'd have got 5 times that here in China.
Yeah.
As a guarantee.
Yeah.
But the search for victory, the search for those points to take him to London at the end of the year, that's what's driving him on. Don't forget, we've got coverage, live coverage of the Davis Cup final between France and Switzerland on November the 21st to the 23rd. That'll be live on British Eurosport 2 from Lille in France. It's a 27,000-seater, and you can imagine all 3 days are going to be absolutely packed, and it's our privilege to show you that final. France against Switzerland. Federer coming to France. Wawrinka up against what? Songa, Monfils. It's a quite frightening prospect. Gasquet and Simon will be playing their part too. Into the third set here. The momentum is with Murray.
Absolutely. Robredo must just wonder what he has to do to win this. 5 match points come and gone.
Robredo to serve.
Mentioned what a huge effort it was for Murray to get back and take that second set. I just sense now it'll be huge for Robredo. One of the biggest moments of his career, if he can win the title right now. Murray's got his tail up, feeling better about himself. Conditions are easier. Such consistent depth there from Andy Murray.
Hammering his thighs as if to say, I've got to get those legs moving across to that. keep them going there.
So break point for a kickstart to this third set. That's disappointing from Robredo. Was he a fraction slow moving out to that forehand? But Murray moves in front.
Yes, it's a case of a heavy load, and it's not, I think, not so much the physical load, it's the mental load that there is with Robredo at the moment. And you've had match points like that when the match is virtually over and you've got to face a third set against, well, not a rampant Murray, but obviously a Murray showing the belief that he can win this title yet. It is a lot to carry with you.
Yes, Murray, of course, aiming into the backhand corner when he can. But here's a really difficult period for Robredo now. But we've seen how resilient he is. One of the most resilient players, mentally and physically, that the tour's known. Things beginning to conspire against him.
Yes, and that's a fine second serve by Murray, slicing it, coming into the body of his opponent.
Remember yesterday when he took the second set, he raced through the third against Juan Monaco in a tries. 6-love it was. I don't think it's going to be 6-love here.
No, it was then that he won 21 of 24 points against the Argentine. Well, you can see Robredo just drifting along to the other side. Has some of the fight gone out of him? Hope not.
No, I doubt it. Trying to think where it was. We had 3 matches, went 5 sets back to back. And
yes, in the French last year.
And it was an all-time record.
Yes, the first time it had been done since Wimbledon 1927 when Cochet did it. Even in the final against Barotra, I think it was, Cochet came back from 2 sets love down, but Robredo doing it for the first time since then in a major.
So don't write him out. Has to hold here, though. Oh, he was almost flat-footed there. Drove that home. You can see him shaking his head. It's extraordinary.
Yes, it looked a bit cumbersome, but it was doing his opponent what his opponent has been doing a lot to him, hammering the second serve.
Wondrous shot. Very challenging, but it looked a fabulous effort, that from Robredo.
Well, is this a case of Robredo saying, if I'm going to stay in this match, I've got to stay in it by just going for my shots as much as I can.
Yes, and it's when he's done that that he's had his greatest success. But it's Murray who's off to a lead in set number 3. He leads 2-1.
What's going on? Ah, it looks like Dad's tablet can only do one thing at a time. With the Galaxy Tab S, the whole family has something to smile about. Do you see what I see? Samsung Galaxy Tab S.
I'd do anything for you, dear. Anything for you, mean everything to me.
Ready, Dad?
I'd go anywhere for your smile, anywhere for your smile.
So 2-1. Robredo, true to his character, sticking in there, even though it looks as if it's downhill from here on in, but maybe it doesn't look that way to him.
Yeah, I think the one thing that Murray has to look out for is any push shots, because I think Robredo is really going to keep firing away on backhand, forehand. He's going to take even more risks, the Spaniard.
And of course, conditioning could still be a factor. Robredo's been in the longest match so far of the week, 2 hours 36 minutes, his quarterfinal against Seppi. This is what, 2 hours coming up, 2 hours 20. It's probably going to be longer than that. Two superbly fit men here, two of the fittest men on the tour. Murray arguably the fittest, but he remembers what happened in New York. That won't leave him for a while.
Hasn't really found that serve out wide to the backhand on the first serve.
Sorry about the language. Ahmed Layani would have heard that, but has decided to do nothing about it. Into double figures on aces now.
And that had a violent swerve on it. Yeah. Robredo just having a swing at it.
He is looking very tired, Robredo, now.
Yeah. Thought I saw his legs give in a couple of games ago.
Yeah. looks very nearly cooked, the Tommy Robredo, in all senses of the word.
Two men who do their bit for charity. Robredo works with disabled people in Spain, helps to encourage them to play sport, and of course Murray does his bit for the anti-malaria campaign. Here's a goner.
And Murray, of course, will enjoy that. I remember talking to Mats Wilander just a few years ago. He was saying the most joy he ever got on a tennis court when he could see his opponent physically disintegrating in front of him. He really loved that.
And he could wear them down, that's for sure.
15.
He's still got the strike power, Robredo, to hurt with serve and ground strokes. It's a matter of hitting them in.
Yeah, 171k second serve. It looked like desperation. He didn't have to move, but it was a beautiful little shot.
40-30.
Yeah, just leaning forward here, playing it on the half volley virtually.
Yeah, he senses his torture now. I think the thighs are aching.
Use.
A little bit lucky. Signified its break point.
But Robredo was glued to the spot. He wasn't moving either to his left or his right.
No facial sign of any pain, but he can't mask it. And he can hardly get to his chair. Oh boy, it's not pretty to see, but Andy Murray will be feeling good about it. It is 4-1.
Whatever you're driving, when you sell it, you want a great price. We want anycar.com. Enter your reg number and details for your valuation.
This is Campylobacter jejuni, a tummy-churning, far-from-home, trip-spoiling bug. But what if you don't know the local word for bug? That's why we're here. We'll help our card members find a doctor who speaks their language in the middle of the night or the middle of nowhere. With 13,830 medical cases sorted last year, it's just part of the Kiss and Make Better service we deliver daily. American Express. Realize the potential.
For an 80% good driver discount, chat to Churchill.
Well, it's fascinating, but also it's a bit disconcerting to watch Robredo at the chair, because he didn't call for the trainer, because there's nothing the trainer can do right now.
No. No, he's been a real force, of course, with his match points. But he's a spent force.
I'm not sure he'll be moving to these serves. I think the wide serve is favourite. But good that he's carrying on, soldiering on. A lot wouldn't. And Murray doing what he has to do, and he's doing it pretty well.
Yes, it's ironic that the backhand and down the line now is the shot doing most of the damage. Hardly used during the course of the real match, if I may put it that way. As this is no match.
And Murray, who works so hard on his physical conditioning, will be lapping this up. Not that Robredo doesn't, but Murray is extreme. He's almost staggering now from foot to foot. And I'm sure the medical people will be saying, why is he carrying on? Well, that's what's made him this successful player, Tommy Robredo. It's sheer agony.
Well, just hopes he is able to recover. I'm not sure he will for Beijing. Mr. Murray's challenge the call. It's given to him anyway.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Must have misheard. It's good to see the crowd recognising the effort that Robredo's putting in here. And Robredo, who'd had 5 match points when he was feeling a very different person in the second set, now has match point against him. Well played, Andy Murray. He wins the trophy for the first time in 15 months since the pinnacle of his career at Wimbledon last year. But in the end, he outlasted Tommy Robredo. But from the middle of the second set on, he outplayed him as well.
He did. He showed a tremendous character, I think, Murray. He could so easily have said, well, I've done well in this tournament, I got to the final. But no, he fought. So they can be really proud of the man they gave the wild card to. As is sometimes said, the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. And I think in this case for Murray, that is certainly the case.
Please be with us if you can.
It's his 29th title, but the first since July of last year at Southwest 19, and very well played, Andy Murray. And very shortly we'll be whipping across to the Malaysian Open for the final there between Julian Benneteau and the #1 seed Kei Nishikori. It's 5-6 in the opening set there, so we'll be moving fairly rapidly across. I hope you don't mind missing the ceremony for Andy Murray, but obviously that's a key moment in the match there. He should be very proud of himself, Andy Murray.
He should be, and we saw there signs really of how much it's taken out of Murray, but supreme fitness and supreme character, I think. So a terrific win, first win for Murray since Wimbledon last year.
So Andy Murray back with a championship to his credit. We'll be off for